Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. This week from the Sky Dome Arena, the home of the Coventry Blaze. Tonight, the table-topping Belfast Giants are the visitors, and you know what? They're looking for revenge.
A fortnight ago, the Blaze shocked everyone with a 3-0 victory away at the Odyssey. And for title-chasing Belfast, the Sky Dome is a venue they've struggled in over the years. But with a win last weekend away at fellow high flyers Nottingham, confidence is high amongst Doug Christensen's men. We'll hear from both camps ahead of their game here tonight, as well as showing you the highlights, and we'll also have all the rest of the action from the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League.
Well, alongside me, as always, guiding us through all the Elite League action is Mr. Dave Simms. Dave, I'm back. Did you miss me?
Of course we missed you, Anna. No disrespect to Rick Strachan, but Anna Woolhouse, Rick Strachan, it's always going to be you, Anna.
Flattery will get you absolutely everywhere, yeah. But Dave, before we talk about anything tonight in the show, we have to have a look at what happened last night. The two biggest teams, the two top teams in the Elite League, Belfast and Nottingham, were on the road. Let's see what happened. Here's Chris Ellis.
Nottingham had the better start in Cardiff. They outshot the Devils 15-8 in the first session and created good chances like this one. Fox for Clark in the right circle. Glove save from Stevie Lyle. They continue to pressure and force the turnover. Clark in the slot. Save is made, and jumping onto the rebound is Champagne. But immediately Tom Darnell saw an infringement and he waves that goal off and says no goal. Nottingham angry. David Clark and Beauregard asking the questions, particularly Champagne. He's angry and the score stays at 0-0. Now watch this skate from Josh. Back past one. Past Stevie Lee into the offensive zone. Cross-ice pass and Max Beerbrayer at the back door. 1-0 Devils. Nottingham had the possession in the first session, but the Devils led. Beerbrayer with the 5th goal of the season. Now second period action and all sorts of scrambles in front of the net. Craig Kowalski has to be at his best there to keep the scoreline only at 1-0. The tide began to turn in the second session. 11-9 Cardiff outshot Nottingham, and then 18-11 in the final session. And giveaway by Nottingham, it's a turnover, and it's a second of the night for Beerbrayer. Banking on the rebounds, McRae and Pierce. So 49-18, 2-0 game, and it really is going in the Cardiff Devils' way. Again, turnover here. Harima can't get to the puck, doesn't work hard enough, and Sam Smith breaks away into the offensive zone, near side, past Kowalski, 3-0, game, set and match, and Cardiff are going to have the 2 points. But Nottingham continued to press, and here they come forward with a combination of Beauregard and Harima. The save is made by Lyle, but up pops Beauregard, and with 18 seconds to go, Stevie Lyle's shutout is broken. Final score, Cardiff 3, Nottingham 1. Elite League leaders Belfast Giants went into the game with a perfect away record. They've won every game away from the Odyssey. First period action, good chance against the bar. Unlucky there for Hutchinson. Now at the other end, Braehead start to come into the game. First of all, it's good work from Bruce, then from Haywood, and it is going to be Bruce who comes back into the play. Delayed penalty, and Bruce scores. The assist to Haywood, 6-10 gone. Lead for Braehead. They still pressured, did the Clan, and Wedderburn and Galbraith combined to send Bayrak away, left-hand side. It's a 2-on-1 break, and he goes across Murphy. 2-0 game at 16:37. Nice finish. Now, don't give the puck away to Jay Galbraith, because this is what happens. Galbraith pounces, makes them pay. What a finish. 3-0. It's 18:24. Into the second session, and the Giants get one back. Clark with his second since joining the club. So that's 3-1 game, just 57 seconds in. Now, the talking point of the week. Watch this hit by Doucette on Sajek. First look, it looks bad. It looks terrible. The players' reactions show that they think it's bad. But You're going to watch the slow-mo in a moment. The Elite League Disciplinary Committee rescinded the penalty on further evidence. They heard from both sides and looked at that slow-mo to come up with their findings. And you can see them at eliteleague.co.uk to find their findings. But both sides were angry at that point. And then into the third session. We've still got just over 2 minutes to go, but Belfast gambling empty net situation, and Drew Bannister scores into that empty net. Final score, Braehead 4, Belfast 1.
So Dave, we've just seen it there. Both the top teams, they go down.
Surprised that they both go down on exactly the same day as well. No shame in losing to the Cardiff Devils. Many a team, Anna, will lose in Cardiff. The Nottingham Panthers, without Matthew Myers out for 6 to 8 weeks, they're going to miss him. He's a horse, he's a bull, and he's a man who's a genuine second-line centre. And in a ring like Cardiff, he would have been missed. Perhaps more of a surprise, the Belfast Giants going down to the Braehead Clan. But how many times have we said that the Braehead Clan on a Saturday night, when they've had the whole week's rest, they haven't had any travel and they're playing at home, they can beat anybody, and they did.
What about Nottingham though? I mean, this is their 5th loss now.
I wouldn't be so upset with the number 5, Anna. They've lost 2 games to the Coventry Blaze, one with a backup netminder. They've lost a couple to the Cardiff Devils, a couple to the Belfast Giants. The number 5, whoever wins the league, is going to have a similar kind of record against the top team. So I don't think the actual number 5 will be keeping Corey Nelson awake at the moment. You know, they've had the toughest start schedule-wise. They've played the most teams in the top division.
So how are the Belfast Giants after last night? What are they going to do tonight? We're here in Coventry. They had a great win last night. How are they going to pull their socks up?
Guy sitting behind me in the stands at the moment, Doug Christensen, the coach, all about how he reacts. Anna, you know Doug as well. He's a hockey geek, he's a hockey nerd, he'll openly admit it, and this would have kept him awake last night. He'll have been doing the maths, doing the sums, and the one thing that he'll know is that he is the first of the top 5 teams to lose a game to the bottom 5 teams, and he knows how that will come back at him later on in the year. He'll be upset about that, and he'll now know how important this game is. So does he over-chisel his guys, overreact on his guys, go hard on them in the last 12 hours to get them here to Coventry and put even more pressure on them? I know the coaches of the other 4 teams will be hoping that's exactly what Doug did.
Well, I managed to catch up with the man himself earlier, Doug Christensen. Here's what he had to say. Okay, Doug, first of all, I want to talk about last night. What happened?
Well, I thought overall we didn't play as well as we could have, and I thought that in a 7-minute stretch in the first period, we gave them 3 goals. They took their opportunities, and then we played catch-up the rest of the night, and unfortunately, we just didn't have that extra play and extra momentum to get the extra goals that we needed. But going into tonight, we can't focus on the yesterday. We have to correct what was wrong last night, play good team defense. If we do that, we're going to have a lot of success tonight.
Now, you had a pretty bad first period last night. Would you say it was game over then?
No, I don't think so. I think that our team has enough offense to be able to come back. I think we definitely have quality players throughout our lineup, but we got into a couple of penalties, 2 10-minute misconducts to 2 of our better players, and as a result of that, we really didn't have enough momentum and enough energy to be able to fight back. And give Braehead credit, they did a heck of a job.
I want to talk a bit about goal scoring. Now, last week against Hull, you only scored 2, and then last night you scored 1. Is it becoming a bit of an issue?
No, it's only an issue if people ask you questions about it. In all fairness, we've got plenty of players in our lineup who can score goals, and part of hockey is you get chances and goaltenders make saves. I mean, they're pro hockey players too. We have to get to the net a little bit more. We have to find those rebounds. We have to get to those dirty areas, and if we do that, we'll be all right. But obviously, when you miss your arguably your best British forward and your best overall player, you're going to have to drop a little bit offensively, which means that your team defense has to step up to the challenge. The flip side of the coin is we haven't given up that many goals. We gave up 3 goals against Braehead and an empty netter, and so if we can continue team defense, we're going to be in it every night, and hopefully you can get the odd goal.
Now you're playing the Blaze tonight. Last time you played them, you lost. Where do their strengths lie, do you think?
Coventry's forwards are fantastic. They've got a lot of guys who can put the puck in the net. They've got Owen Fussy, who is about as good of a person and as good of a player as there is in the league. They've got Voljum. I mean, throughout their lineup, they've got plenty of guys who can score. For us, we have to make sure that we identify them, shut them down, and play physical against them. And if we can play in their end, that's the one area where we've had success against Coventry, is forcing them, all 5 of their guys, to play defense and finding some teams and forcing them to make mistakes. Because we have forwards who can force teams to make mistakes, and then we just got to put it away.
How confident are you out tonight?
I'm always confident. This is my team, and we're going to come here and get the job done.
Thanks, Anna. Well, it was Scotland then for the Belfast Giants on Saturday night. Also for the Coventry Blaze. They travelled to Murrayfield to take on the ever-improving Edinburgh Capitals. Our man there was Chris Ellis.
There's always plenty of goals in Edinburgh one way or the other, isn't there? And they fell behind in the first session early on, 2:27. Owen Fussy with the first goal of the night. 1 soon became 2. Farmer and Journer combining 4-0 to score a third goal of the season. 3:47 gone. Very much Coventry's good start. But at the other end, Edinburgh came back into things. And then Hartman, Mackenzie, they combined for the Lecco. 4th of the season for him. 2-1 game. But power play time for the Blades. Guthrie does all the hard work here into the offensive zone. And Farmer scores 3-1 at the end of the first session. Into session 2. And now gets his second goal of the game. His last goals as a Coventry player for now. Personal reasons has seen him leave the Blaze. So that's 4-1. And very much in the ascendancy are the Coventry Blades. But could they find more goals before the end of the second session? Yes, they could. Nice finish from Crowell. Crowell gets goal number 5. That was the end of the scoring for them in the second session. But Edinburgh, well, they still had something to give. Menton getting his second of the season. So 5-2 at the end of 2 sessions. And we're going into the third session with Edinburgh, I guess, having small hope of getting something out of the game. Good move in the third session. Sure-handed goal for Owen Fussy. That's goal number 6. Edinburgh come back into things with another goal. That's Mackenzie finding a way through. The gap is closed once more. And there's still time for 2 more goals from Guthrie. Guthrie finishing there, right in on the net. He celebrates. That's one of the 2 goals. He gets a double to end the game. Final score, Edinburgh 3, Coventry 8.
So a comfortable victory for the Coventry Blaze up in Murrayfield. Joining me is the captain of the Blaze, Jonathan Weaver. And it was a comfortable win, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It turned out that way. They gave us a bit of resistance early on, but they were short bench. They had a few guys missing, and we kept pressing them, and we got the few goals up that we needed, and it turned out to be pretty easy in the end.
It's going to be a very different night tonight here against the Belfast Giants, especially with them losing last night.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, they came here at the start of the year and they turned us over pretty good here, and we went to their place and played a solid game, and we need to do the same thing here tonight. And obviously they're going to want to bounce back from a defeat last night, but we've got to be prepared for that. Yeah,
you've had some fantastic results this season, but you've also had some shockers as well. It's been so up and down with no consistency. Over the last 5-10 years, consistency has been a word that you've just used alongside Coventry Blaze. What's been different this year?
I don't know, Dave. I think if you could figure that out, then you could have Tomo's job. But it's tough for him too. We worked hard last week in practice. And we had a great week, and then we went into last weekend's game against Cardiff and Sheffield, and we just didn't perform. It was hugely disappointing considering the weekend we'd had before that. So we'll just keep working hard and trying to figure it out. And if we can pick up wins along the way, then that'll be it.
A lot of new players in this team from last season. Is there a little bit more pressure on you as one of the more older, established guys, and also the captain to pick up the load?
I think there's always pressure, especially here in Coventry, because of the success they've had, and the fans don't really accept losing games, especially not here at home. So there's pressure every game, every time you put a Blaze jersey on, so you've got to deal with it and do what you can.
Okay, well, good luck tonight. Time for us to take a break. When we come back, though, more action from around the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. This week we're at the Skydome Arena in Coventry.
Well, let's head straight back into the action. It's what we're all here for, and round up the rest of the highlights from Saturday.
Challenge Cup action in Hull, and the Steelers knew that a win would give them a great chance of second spot in Group B. Tendler off the walls, and out in front for Jack Watkins, who celebrates his call up to the GB Under-20s squad for the World Championships in December with his second goal of the season. Now, second period action. Legui feeds Clark into the offensive, so watch this. Quick at a flash. Goal. Now it hits the back of the net, and Paul Staniforth, the linesman you see in the left-hand corner, was right on the line, right up with play to give that goal. Correct decision. If you wind it back, you'll see the net bulge. Correct decision by the officials. Power play time in the second session for the Steelers. Stevenson heavily involved, shot from the high slot, rebound, Cock King, he gets the final touch. So it's 2-1 Steelers, 14:09 into the second session. The game began to get a little bit feisty. In the third session there we see a coming together. Burnstill a slashing on Campbell. Campbell didn't like it. Other players got involved. All sorts of people having words and just beginning to get their tempers boiled over. And still here in the third session, a little bit more aggro. This play saw Squires eventually go to the box for boarding, but not before Andre got involved. A couple more players just wanting to have their say and crowding around each other. Andre looks still angry. Anyway, Squires goes for boarding, as I say. That was his penalty. So power play time to the home side. They need to get something in on it. And it is the Stingrays who are coming forward. Steelers can't clear the zone, and combining with Campbell is Bakalik and Cloutier there. His third goal of the season, 15-21 into the third session. We're tied at 2-2. It could be anyone's game. Now, into the final moments of the game. The Stingrays have some pressure on net. And it's a turnover, the shot comes in, but the man falls over, and the Steelers break away. It's Tate and Legree coming forward for the Steelers. Great passing, and the final touch there is by Clark, attempt of the season, with 10 seconds to go. Devastating for the Stingrays, but the Steelers will have that. Hull Stingrays 2, Sheffield 3. Dundee went into the weekend knowing 2 wins in the Challenge Cup would keep alive hopes of a semi-final place. In the second session, no goals in the first, but second session action, Seaman and Conkle combining. McGough shoots from right point, and then the final touch is from Conkle, a 5th of the season. Conkle and Seaman have missed games recently, but they combine there for 1-0 Dundee. Then Seaman wins a face-off against Stewart. It's 2-0, a 5th of the season for Seaman, and the Stars beginning to be very much in control. In the third session still, and Zarb goes offensive, and the Flyers can't clear the puck. It's going to come to Dan Seaman, right-hand side, weighted pass, and Conkle scores 3-0. Conkle got 2 goals on the night, Seaman 1+2. Good return for the pair of them. Anyway, Dundee then hit penalty trouble. First of all, a slash by Zarb. And you see Hamilton go down, so that's power play time for the home side. To the box he goes. No goal on that power play. And then, as the game's drawing to a close, Zarb then is penalised for holding. So he gets another 2-minute penalty. Nice beard, by the way, really nice beard. He's not happy, and in the end, he talks himself into a misconduct. So he was to leave the game, a 10-minute misconduct for Zarb. Anyway, Fife were on the power play. Less than 3 minutes to go in the game at this stage. Could they mount a fight back, aided by the one-man advantage? Well, they had the chance, and they were moving it around nicely on the PP. First of all, Hamilton, and then Hartmanis. They're all combining well. Behind the net, it comes to Hamilton, and then out in front, one-time shot. Lovely goal from Cohen, a 3rd of the season. It's a 2-goal game. Anyway, the game's drawing to a close now, and Danny Stewart has it. Nice pass for Hartmanis into the offensive zone. Come the Flyers, and it's another goal from Hamilton, and it's 3-2 game, an 8th of the season for Hamilton with 83 seconds to go. But that's as good as it got for them. 5-2, Dundee 3.
So that rounds up all the action from Saturday. Let's head straight into Sunday's action, starting with a game in Dundee, where Braehead were the visitors.
Dundee needed a victory to keep alive their hopes of qualifying for the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup. Early stages, Braehead coming forward, given away by Bayrak. McLean takes it out the air. Seaman right-hand side, and the player coach gives his side the lead after just 67 seconds. 1-0 Dundee. What a start. Now the Stars outshot Braehead 31-25 in the game, but Whitley still had to be at his best at the other end to make some great stops, as you'll see throughout the game. Still first period action. Brennan Turner at right point, off the backboards, all sorts of scrambles in front of the net, and Murray Hansen there sees that Zajac basically throws the puck in the crease. He covers it up, so it's a penalty shot. It's Lee Mitchell's chance to make it 2-0. Can he do it? Yes, he can. 2-0 Stars. What a start to the first period. More pressure from Dundee in this first period. All sorts of chances on net, takes loads of deflections, but it falls nicely for Braehead, and the pass out of defence comes to Bayrak, who makes amends. His 6th goal of the season, and makes amends for his earlier mistake that gave Dundee the lead. So that's 2-1 game at the end of the first session. More pressure though for the Dundee Stars, and Hutchins goes forward. There's a chance. The save is made. Dundee looking to get a third goal of the night. Now a great skate from McPherson. He goes towards net. Whitley makes some sort of save. In goes McPherson into the back of the net, and things seem quite quiet here. Nothing's really happening, but then Hutchins and Bruce sort of take the mickey out of each other, and both of them just go away without really exchanging many more glances. But the leveller comes there. It's a 2-2 game. Face-off win by Kristanovic, and Wedderburn's pass comes to Phillips, and the tip by McPherson. So Dundee miss out, and it's Braehead and Belfast into the semi-final to the Cup. Both sides went into the game with different fortunes from the previous night. Cardiff saw off Nottingham in the league, but the Stingrays beaten at home very late on by the Steelers in the Cup. This too, Challenge Cup action, and first to the rebound there, Ben Davies, a second goal of the season. 11-01, Cardiff lead. But at the other end, Tendler shoots, denied by Lyle. In goes Cloutier. Adams doesn't like it, and the player coaches have a bit of push and shove. Sign of things to come. Keep watching. Second session action, and Tendler takes a puck away from Pierce on the left wall. 1-2 with Cloutier, and the finish is past Lyle. Don't know how that went in. Lyle doesn't know either, but Tendler scores. We're tied up at 1-1, 1:54 into the second session. Devils coming forward, but a turnover. Chance for the Stingrays because Matt Davies is going through. Davis, what a finish. 2-1 game now. It's turned on its head just before the halfway point in the game. Now, big hit from Dooley on Sam Smith. Devils bench up in arms. Look at Neil Francis. But see the replay. That is a good legal mid-ice check. Sam Smith is down, though. There's some concern. And once he's been attended to, the game did carry on, and Devils started to pile on the pressure. Voss shoots, denied by Boucher. Good glove save, keeps it at 2-1. Now a moment of controversy. Big hit from Chris Frank. He gets 2+10 for check into the head from that one. But then all sorts of sparks fly. First of all, Daniel Scott goes to fight Frank, but the linesmen break that one up. But we do see a tussle. Really, it's one-way traffic. Chamberlain laying out some punches on Davis. And young Chamberlain, maybe he's going to be a tough cookie. That one is eventually broken up. And as you see, as we mentioned, Frank is thrown out of the game. His game is effectively over. 2+10 for check into the head. Devils went in search of a late leveller. Final session, they had 20 shots to the Stingrays 2 to outshoot Hull Stingrays 33-22 in the game. Final stages, Richardson shoots, deflections, goal! Gerard Adams with the final touch. The Stingrays players, they want a high stick, but it's not to be for them. And once again, Hull let in a goal late on, 59 seconds to go. Final score in the Cup, Hull 2, Cardiff 2.
Time now for another break, but join us shortly as we've got the highlights of the game here in Coventry, and we've got all the rest of the action from around the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League. See you in a bit.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. In a moment, we'll show you the highlights from the game here in Coventry as they take on the Belfast Giants. And as you can see, they're all warming up nicely behind us. And one thing I have got to do is ask you, Dave, what's your prediction?
Well, I think it's our toughest prediction of the season so far. Normally here at the Skydome Arena, Anna, you go with the Coventry Blaze. But I just can't think for the life of me that Doug Christensen's going to allow his team to go back to Belfast on the back of 2 defeats. I don't know about the ferry home. I think it could be a long walk home if Belfast lose, and that's why I'm going for a Belfast Giants victory.
Well, you wouldn't want to be on that bus, would you? Definitely not. Well, Dave is going for the Belfast Giants. Let's see if it's right. Here's Chris Ellis.
The last time these two sides met was in the Odyssey Arena, and on that night, Coventry skated to a 3-0 victory. So a point to prove for Doug Christensen and his side. Now, Coventry coming forward initially with Crowell, then Guthrie, but then the puck's given away out in front, and Crowell pounces in the slot. So 1-0 Coventry at 2:28. Only just goes over the line. It doesn't matter, though. The Blaze have the early lead. Once again, Guthrie making a nuisance of himself, goes offensive, behind the net, picked up by McLean. McLean goes out out in front, drops it off, neat pass for Crowell, and Crowell cuts in on net. It's 2-0. 4:05 gone. A lovely, well-worked goal by Coventry. Crowell just cuts in, finishes well. It's 2-0, and Coventry at the Skydome are leading now in the corner there. Hit from Jernick, and it results in a bout of fisticuffs. It takes some time to get going. This time Jernick, who seems to fight every week, is going with Keefe. Keefe gets some rights to start the fight off. Jernick starts to come back. They get a bit tangled on the boards, and Jernick tries to get his hands free. Then they start doing a bit of rocking and to-ing and fro-ing. Then Jernick does get the arm free and starts to go with his right. 1 or 2 good ones there. Then back comes some more rights with Keefe and Jernick with his rights as well. Jernick starts to go with his left. Keefe comes over the top, and this one is nearly over. The linesmen step in. 2 tough men going. Some naughty punches there from Keefe just as his back is turned. Jernick then seems to give him a bit of a slap. Keefe then plays up to the Skydome crowd. Jernick then wants more words with Keefe. That's an entertaining fight, and they certainly went toe-to-toe. So 2-0. We're still in the early stages, not played 10 minutes, and the Belfast Giants are coming forward into the offensive zone, and the rebound is put away by Doucet. His own rebound he puts away, an 11th goal of the season. 7:49, the time of the goal. Garside with the assist, 2-1. We're back to a 1-goal game. It's very much game alive. But Coventry are made of stern stuff at the moment. They had a good weekend beating Edinburgh on Saturday. This time, Crowell with the assist, Farmer with the final touch, a 7th of the season. So Crowell with 2+1 in the first session, and we'd only been playing 13 minutes and 24 seconds. But Belfast came back. Clark and Reback combining, short-handed for Lloyd. It went in off Hirsch. You'll see the replay. This in the second session. 37-41. Just goes under Hirsch. So we're at a 3-2 game. It's very much game alive at this stage, and all sorts could happen. Now Belfast break away. Into the offensive zone they come. Garside is driving the net, and that's a goal. That is a lovely goal. Short-handed, the second short-handed goal of the night. We're level. 27 seconds into period 3. Great move, great breakaway on the turnover. The pass was for Mason, and Garside levels it up at 3-3. We have a game on our hands. It's certainly really exciting. Here, Hirsch making all sorts of saves. There's tangling and grappling going on in front of him, and the game maybe threatened to boil over, but that didn't happen in the end. Now, Belfast coming forward once more. Into the offensive zone is Lloyd. He is pulled back by Cowley. Michael Hicks gives a penalty shot. So, can the Belfast Giants take the lead with Lloyd? Lloyd in on Hirsch. Denied. We stay at 3-3. This was a thrilling game. Look at that. Denied. He actually puts it wide. He gets put off there by the netminder and puts it wide. So, now, a hit by Awada on the boards. Awada eventually was to get a penalty for that. Accidental high stick. There was a cut to the face. So power play time for the Belfast Giants. But breakaway, short-handed. Guthrie into the offensive zone. Then Crowell looking for his hat-trick. He's denied. End-to-end game that was really entertaining. The longer it went on, it certainly was a thriller. Now look at this one. Belfast battling in the corners. It's Coventry who've got the puck, but Belfast steal it off them, and away come the Belfast Giants. Garside is right-hand side, then driving the net is Peacock. The save is made by Hirsch. He keeps it at 3-3, and now at one end, the Belfast Giants try and come forward with Owen. Into the offensive zone now they come with Fussy, but the Giants break. It was so end-to-end, and Peacock is the man who gets the final touch. And certainly Coventry then come forward at the other end into the offensive zone. Now they come with Fussy, and the man driving is Owen, and Owen gets his shot away. The save is made. What a thrilling game in regulation and in overtime. So we went to penalty shots, and the first one of the night, Doucet denied. So can Guthrie score to give the Blaze the advantage? Yes, he can. 1-0 after one shot each. Belfast needs to score through Mason. Yes, they do. They level it up. Robert Farmer, can he win it? Farmer through. Farmer scores. Lovely move by Farmer. A sweet, sweet move by him. So Aaron Clark then is the man that has to keep the Belfast Giants in it. Here he is. Can he score? No, he can't. So that's 2 misses for the Belfast Giants, 2 goals for the Coventry Blaze, and they win the penalty shootout. Final score, Coventry 4, Belfast 3.
Dougie, is that a point gained or a point lost?
You know, it's not so much tonight that mattered, it was last night. Tonight we started down 2-0, 4 minutes in, and we battled back. I mean, if you look at the guys' work ethic for the last 56 minutes plus overtime of that game, you can't fault them. I mean, there's a lot of tired guys in there, guys who blocked shots, battled, finished hits. You can't fault their compete level after that first 4 minutes, but unfortunately, we didn't start very well, but it's last night that really cost us.
Yeah. Talk us through this game then. You get off to the worst possible start, don't you? 2 great goals from Crown.
Well, you got to think that our D-zone coverage lacked there for a couple minutes, but you know what? The guys dug in, and 85% of the time, if you're down 2-0, after 4 minutes in the Skydome, you're going to walk out with nothing. The guys battled back, got it to the point where it was 3-3. I think everybody in the building thought we were going to get the next one, including myself, but once you get to a shootout, a lot of good players, it's a coin flip, and at the end of the day, to get a point, battling his back as hard as we did, killing 3 5-on-3s, a 4-on-3, you know, it's a battle, and we didn't come out the way we wanted to.
It seemed like you were on the rough end of a few calls tonight, and you spent half the night killing, as you say.
It's not the ref's fault. I mean, we had a number of opportunities on our own. We didn't take. When we're 0 for on the power play, we can't complain about what he does. Our penalty kill, on the other hand, scored 2 goals. So maybe we should have asked him to call more penalties, and maybe it would have been more of an offensive threat. Talk
us through the 5-on-3 short-handed goal. Garside, a great finish, but not very often you see a 2-0, is there, on a 5-on-3?
No, I'm glad they made the mistake. Whatever it was, they had a breakdown, and we were able to capitalize. And Mark Garside's one of the hardest working players on our team, and him and Mace connecting, fantastic. And I know all those guys were really pleased at the time.
Paul, from up above, it seemed that you did your best to almost throw that one away.
You know, anytime you beat the Belfast Giants, you should be in a real good mood and buoyant. But you know what, we really did. I mean, I think we handed them a point tonight. Well, our power play did anyway. I mean, 2 short-handed goals. Credit to the Giants, they killed well, but I think we put it on a plate for them a couple of times. And you know, that's an area in our team that was strong for the first couple of months and the last couple of weeks. And your power play does that; it dips and and climbs over a season. But you know, when you've got the 5-on-3, 3 5-on-3s like we had tonight, you need to take advantage. And the Belfast Giants did; they scored one.
It was like the Blaze of old at the beginning. You came out strong, you scored those 2 quick goals. Normally, that settles you down, and that's enough.
David, I thought we played a good game tonight, and I think, I don't know what they're saying in the Belfast camp, but if I was the Belfast coach right now, I'd be pretty happy that I'd scratched a point tonight, because I thought, from the majority of the game, apart from maybe a 5-6 minute spell in the third period where the momentum swung round after we gave up that 5-on-3 goal, that short-handed goal, I thought we pretty much dominated the game against a great hockey club.
Talk us through that. 5-on-3 power play in the offensive zone. You call the timeout. Tried to weave the magic, didn't quite work.
Worked to a T. Called a timeout, I said, Guthrie, you skate towards Weaver, pass it to their player and give up a 2-on-0. And it worked. We've just got to keep the fans happy here, David.
Talk us through the penalty shootout. Most people might have been a little bit surprised to see 10 Robert Farmer skate out. He repaid your trust and scored a fantastic goal.
Well, we're not surprised because we see it every day, and we see it every day at practice. And I think Robert is actually nudging his way into becoming into the top echelons of British players. I mean, his form, as is Aaron Nels. Aaron does it in a quieter way, but Robert's getting on the board. I think that's 8 league goals he's got now, 7 or 8 league goals, and he's scoring big goals, making big plays. And I said to him during he's a bit miffed he didn't get out on the 4-on-4 in overtime, and I said, Farms, I'm keeping you back to win us the game with a penalty shot, and he did, and it was a great move.
So an exciting game and a great win for the Coventry Blaze. Join us after the break when we'll have more reaction and the rest of the action from around the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports, where we've just seen the Coventry Blaze take a victory over the Belfast Giants. And what should we say, Dave? Not a great game, but an exciting game, I'd say.
It had a bit of everything, didn't it, Anna? It had great goals, had great saves, had an overtime finish and then a penalty shootout and a stunning goal from Robert Farmer to win it. But it was a game that the Coventry Blaze should have had wrapped up a long time ago. We should be on our way home by now because Coventry were the better team for the vast majority of the game.
They certainly weren't in the first period. You know what? I thought they'd nailed it. I thought they'd, done.
Yeah, well, when Marek Král scores 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes, you expect the game to be over. Folks at home, do your maths, do the stats. How many times have the Coventry Blaze go 2-0 up here at the Skydome early and then get pegged back? I mean, Belfast, you have to give them huge credit for coming back in the way that they did, but that was like the Coventry Blaze of old. They would snuff out teams early and do the damage in that first 5 minutes. I thought they'd done it just as you did, but Belfast came back. They just dug in there and found a way to stay in a game that they had no rights to be in.
It certainly was a respectable loss for Belfast, but a loss nonetheless in the second one of the weekend.
Yeah, it is the second one of the weekend, but you know what? Doug Christensen's going home with a point. And I don't know if he really deserves to be going home with a point. Coventry's power play was 0 for 10 tonight. That tells you a story. It tells you that Belfast did have to kill a lot of power plays, and Belfast did a great job. Their ethic, their work ethic, their commitment was not to be questioned. But they gave the Coventry Blaze too many chances, especially early doors. And for Coventry to give up 2 short-handed goals, including a 5-on-3 short-handed Garside's goal, very rarely do you ever see anything like that.
Well, as we saw earlier, a very happy Paul Thompson, which is always a good sight to see, and deservedly so. 2 wins for them this weekend.
Well, they can only beat 2 he's put in front of them as far as Saturday goes, that victory up in Edinburgh. Tonight he'll be delighted that a Coventry Blaze side has again beaten the Belfast Giants. That's 2 straight wins against the Giants for the Coventry Blaze. But which side is going to turn up week on, week out? 2 weeks ago, the Blaze beat Nottingham and Belfast. Then they go down to Braehead and Sheffield. Then they come back this weekend and they beat Belfast again. There's no consistency with Coventry. You have no idea what you're going to get from one week to the other.
I'd say Coventry, they're kind of the equivalent to the French rugby team. You don't know what team's going to turn up.
You don't? Do you think Paul Thompson's got some je ne sais quoi?
No comment on that one. Time now for some more action. 2 games for you. Sheffield were at home to Edinburgh and Fife, they travel to Nottingham. Here's Chris Ellis.
Those who went to the NIC last Sunday will never forget the performance of Fife netminder Gareth Zemlak. No wonder he won Elite League Player of the Week. Chance after chance for Nottingham. You saw 2 for Fox first of all, and then Harima and Benedict, they go close as well. It was a tale of the period by period by period display by Gareth Zemlak. Time after time, he jumps at the puck, he makes the saves. I will give you the shots on goal across the game. First session, 27. Second session, 20. Third session, 25. Overtime, 4. It made a total of 76 shots. It was crazy. Beauregard there. Again, he's like a cat, isn't he? Zemlak making the save. They just continued all the time. David Clark this time. Another chance for Nottingham. How many did they need? Harima now looks for the wraparound. He goes close, comes back for Harima. Safe. But first goal of the night, Scott Champagne, a 9th of the season. And finally he was beaten. Only 11 minutes and 36 seconds into the game, but there had been so many chances. That continued. Fox was denied this time. Nottingham was so in control, it was unbelievable. This time it's levers for Francis, and he goes high, and he can do nothing about that one. Good goal from Francis, a 7th of the season, so Nottingham leading by 2-0. Surely the floodgates would open, but no. Back come the Five Flyers. First of all, Siddle, deflected goal. It's 2-1 on the power play, and Nottingham have only a 1-goal advantage against the league's basement side. They continue to pile the pressure. Scott Champagne there going close, looking for another chance. All sorts going on. It really was crazy. Fife giving the puck away too many times. This time the man out in front is Nielsen, and this time Fox can't get to the rebound. Just watch the chances, they come. It's just one after the other. Stevie Lee, Harima tries to go there. Really can't get anything going. Then there's a man in on net. There are sorts going on. A bit of a tussle. You don't really want to be fighting with Guy Lapine. Lapine getting involved there. Getting a little niggly. Still Nottingham had chance after chance in the game. I could just sit there and just let you see it because it's an exhibition. Champagne with that chance. So Nottingham going close, really for the goal that you think would make the game safe. This time it's Nielsen towards the net. Beauregard, how many scrambles, how many near misses? And again, the cat that is Zemlak is throwing himself around. Nottingham's pressure continues. Danny Myers that time. Harima gets a punch in the head. All sorts of chances. The man goes down and makes a save. And eventually Nottingham, well, what was to happen? Look at this. 2-on-1 break into the offensive zone. The Flyers come forward. It's a 2-2 game. Hamilton sets up hot manners for his first goal since joining the club. We're tied at 2-2, 9:06 into the third session. Nottingham continue to pile on the pressure. Scott Champagne this time. Zemlak's hurt from that save. He has to have a little bit of a breather. 25 shots, as I said, in the third session. It's still one-way traffic. Do you want to know how many shots Fife had? They had 11 in the game. That time, it was Matt Francis, denied. So the Fife Flyers have a point on the road in Nottingham to the shootout. Hamilton, he puts it wide. So can Nottingham take advantage? Beauregard, yes he can. You would bet on him scoring, and he did. So Siddle against Kowalski. Good save, good save. Fox, can he score? No, he can't. Oh, just against the post and saved on the line. That's a terrific save. Cohen had to score. He couldn't. Kowalski saves, and a brave performance by the Flyers. Fife Flyers go to penalties, but lose out in the end. Nottingham 3, 5-2. While Sheffield were leaving it late in Hull to win the Challenge Cup, Nottingham and Belfast were beaten in the Elite League, so great chance here for the Steelers to make more moves at the top of the table. First period action and a lovely skate from Mark Thomas, the GB defenceman, one end of the ice to the other, and a great finish from Jeff Le Guy, an 8th goal of the season. Time of that goal, 3 minutes and 56 seconds, and he scores past netminder Craig Holland, who was in for the injured Nathan Craze. Still first period action, and Savic rings it around the boards, and then a combination of Flath and Finity find Esders for a 4th goal of the season. 14 minutes and 56 seconds. Esders driving the slot. 2-0 Steelers. Now scoring wasn't finished in the first session. Power play time with Finity in the box, and Mackenzie and McIntyre combine, and Yarolin scores his 15th goal of the season. So 2-1, and that's the way it was at the end of the first period. You'll see here Yarolin in the offensive zone, and De Caro nearly gets a piece of it. Well, he does, but he just can't stop it from trickling into his net. Now, Squires does all the hard work here. You'll see in the end, it's going to be quite a solo goal. There is a touch there by Hewitt, but Squires gets it again. Deflection goal. 3-1 Steelers. 3rd goal of the season for Squires, but you'll see the deflection it takes there off the pad. 3-1 game. It got better for the Steelers in the second session, and here Le Guy picks it up on the right boards away from his man, and suddenly, because the defenceman's pinched in, it's a 2-on-1 break. Does he need Ashley Tate? No, he doesn't. 4-1. 14 minutes and 11 seconds into the second session. He comes into the offensive zone, slightly delays his shot, bamboozles the netminder. 4-1 game. Hewitt wins the face-off here, drags it back to Sarri, boom from the blue line, and it's 3 goals in the second period to make it 5-1, and Steelers running away with things. Time of that one, 19:40 into the second session, just 20 seconds to go in period 2. Holland beaten for a 5th time. Into the third period, change in netminder, De Caro goes out, Jeff Woolhouse goes in, but at the other end, a combination of Le Guy and Tate find Clark to get an 11th goal of the season. 43-42 was the final time of the goal, and there were no more goals after that. You see Clark there, first to the rebound. Sheffield 6, Edinburgh 1.
Results from Saturday night then. The Braehead Clan 4-1 over the Belfast Giants. Cardiff beating the Nottingham Panthers 3-1. A road victory for the Coventry Blaze in Edinburgh 8-3. Dundee over the Fife Flyers 3-2. And a last gasp winner for the Sheffield Steelers in the Challenge Cup over the Hull Stingrays. On Sunday, the game we've just seen, the Blaze 4-3 in a penalty shootout victory over the Giants. Dundee and Braehead tying that Challenge Cup game 2-2. Exactly the same result in Hull, where the Stingrays and the Devils shared 4 goals. Nottingham 3-2 over the Fife Flyers, more on that in a moment, and the Sheffield Steelers with a 6-1 thumping of the Edinburgh Capitals. Let's take a look how that affects the league standings, and it's pretty much as you were. The Belfast Giants, while the Nottingham Panthers and the Sheffield Steelers close the gap by a point. Sheffield, of course, have all those games in hand. Coventry Blaze in 4th place. Those 2 points, huge for the Blaze tonight, followed by the Cardiff Devils.
Well, Dave, there's only really one game that stands out, an absolute mile in that, and that's the Fife Nottingham game.
Incredible performance by the Five Flyers, 2-0 down to the Nottingham Panthers in the NIC. They come back to 2-2, they take it into overtime, and yes, the Panthers will collect the 2 points, they win the game in a shootout, but Garrett Zemiak, 76 shots. It's unheard of. And he'll be lying down with an ice pack on his head for the next 4 days.
How is he going to walk tomorrow?
Well, you know what? He's going to rest for 4 days and then they're going to drag him out to do it all again on Saturday. An outstanding performance by Fife, but led by Zemiak. That's what they brought him in for. That's what he was always been capable of doing. But that was just a stunning performance. You've got to tip your hat to that guy. Well done.
I wouldn't want to be him right now, but absolutely amazing. Well, we've just seen another great weekend of hockey in the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League, and coming your way this weekend is another exciting round of fixtures. Here you go. So on Saturday, it's Belfast versus Cardiff, Braehead take on Fife, Dundee versus Edinburgh, it's Hull v Coventry, and Nottingham v Sheffield. Move on 24 hours onto Sunday, November the 13th, and Cardiff, they face Braehead. Coventry take on Dundee, Edinburgh versus Belfast, Fife, they face Nottingham, and Sheffield take on Hull. And finally, Tuesday the 15th of November, is Fife v Hull. Dave, just a quick word on those fixtures that we've just seen there. It's been an absolutely amazing weekend of hockey this weekend. Can it be repeated next weekend?
I think it can be. I think the Elite League went to a new high this weekend. I think there's been some fantastic results. That Braehead result against the Belfast Giants. We've seen overtimes, penalty shootouts, some tense games in the Challenge Cup as well. So I think the Elite League has reached a new high this weekend. And looking at those fixtures that you've just read out, I think it can be repeated again. Some crackerjack games next weekend.
And one game that you'll be missing is Sheffield versus Nottingham. Bad times, but we are going to be in Belfast.
Well, that's a good time, isn't it? We're off to the Belfast Giants, we're off to the Odyssey Arena. That'll be a great game against the Cardiff Devils, and maybe one worth missing a Sheffield-Nottingham game for, because the Odyssey Arena has to become Fortress Belfast for the Giants if they're going to lift this championship.
I'm excited.
Oh, so am I.
Well, you can see all of the highlights of those games on next week's show. We're back next Friday, the 20th of November at 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. on Sky Sports 4. Make sure you set your recorders for that, as we'll be with the Belfast Giants for that show. Well, that's all we've got time for now. I've certainly had a great time. Don't know about you, Dave?
Well, I think we've seen the best game that we've covered on the show so far this year, and also the best weekend of hockey in the Elite League. Great time.
So that's all that's left to say from Dave and myself. Is thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week in Belfast.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.